this live today, I'm going to do one of the paintings that I think I can do some more work on. If you're like me, then sometimes you may do your painting, and after coming back to the painting a while later, it could be a week or so later or the next day, sometimes you see things that you can add, and that's what I thought I'll do for this one. Just dug this painting out of my collection, so I'm going to go ahead and I can add plenty more foliage to this scene, just add a little bit more darks. I've even got a few pens to hand, some ink pens, even a sepia tone pen, so they will probably come in handy. I've also got a bit of Chinese white as well. This is Cotman's. So if I do want to add some highlights, maybe to the water, some of the highlights to the branches, I can do so with white. I've also popped some more paint in my tray. I've got a deep ultramarine. I've got a neutral tint, which is a really nice colour, a Van Dyke brown, a alizarin crimson, yellow ochre, this is sap green, and I've even got a Indian yellow, which I don't usually use, but I think it's a really nice colour, so I may be able to add some of that as well. So let's get going. I hope everyone's well. Anyone who joins me, please hit the like. If you're not subscribed to my channel, then please do subscribe. I would love to have you part of the community. I'm building my community at the moment, so I've got some really nice, lovely followers. If you want to be part of that community, then just tap the subscribe button and I'll welcome you aboard. So I'm just going to add some more colour to these background first, because I'm going to set the stage there first, and then after that's done I can add some more trees in the sort of mid foreground, so that'll be quite nice. So just with the yellow ochre, and you can see just using a mop brush. It's not the largest, but it's quite a nice size. Got a nice tip on there as well, so that is one of the brushes that I really like to use. Not an expensive brush, you don't have to spend too much money on your supplies, but it is nice to have these mop brushes. Welcome. Hi Peachy Vibe, welcome. Thank you for joining. Please do hit the like, just so this video gets out to more people. I would like to have as many people join me as possible, so I do appreciate that. Whereabouts are you from? This is so good. Thank you. Thank you. Like I said, it is a painting that I've done previously. It was in my... When you paint so many paintings, you're left with a massive stack of different paintings, all of which I've done here on YouTube. So if you've not come across my channel before, please check it out. And if you do want to see my weekly content, do hit the subscribe. Oh, thank you, Peachy. What's the purpose of the painting? What do you mean by that? I don't know. I don't understand what you mean. Well, it's a waterfall. I took the reference photo from my hometown. This is a really nice place. It's a country park called Healy Dell, and this is actually, it's called Furridge Chapel. I have done this painting in an oils. So when I painted this, I just wanted to give it a go in this medium. This is watercolor. So just to see the difference. But it's a really nice subject. I really like this composition. I really do like it. So I think it's definitely, thank you. I think it's definitely worth just spending a little bit of time on and get a few more details in here. So I'm just adding just a bit of texture. There is a few colours there, so I can leave those for the undertone, so when I don't cover the paper, you've still got this nice sort of glow in this area. So I'm just starting in this corner just because it's a bit easier for me, because once I start coming down, obviously I'm right-handed, so I'm working from left to right. But I may jump around as well just to make use of when the paint's wet, just go in different areas and carry on with the painting. So do you paint yourself? How long did it take? This one, I think it probably would have taken me a couple of hours. I can't remember. I did this probably a year or two ago. So that's quite some time. I can't remember. I've got a bad memory as well, so can't really remember. But I'm glad you like it. Do you paint yourself? Peachy, is that something you do? Do you do watercolors as well? So I'm just filling in these little area here, just adding more. And one of the things that I usually find difficult is I underpaint. So I know a lot of people do overwork the painting. That's something I've never actually done. I don't think anyway. I don't recall ever overpainting a piece. But my problem is underpainting or underworking. So that's the purpose of this video. If you're like me, sometimes you abandon the painting, just stop painting, when there's probably a lot more you can get out of the painting, a lot more you can do. So that's why I'm doing this. And I've done it a few times for a few lives here on my channel. Let's see what you're saying. But I love to draw. Okay, well, drawing is, I guess, the foundation. And you don't really, I mean, if you don't really have to be good at drawing to paint. So it's not something you need. It does help. I think it does help, but I don't really draw much myself, and it's something that I do want to pursue. I do want to do more. So I think next time I get some materials from the art shop, then I think I will get some drawing paper. A lot of questions. What's the purpose of painting? Like asking, what's the purpose of having fun and being creative? Yeah, I mean, it's just, for me, it's a hobby. I have sold quite a lot of paintings in my time. I've been painting for quite a long time. So it is nice when someone wants to buy your work. It really is nice. I used to sell them a lot on eBay. But I stopped doing that, it was a lot of hassle. I think a lot of people on eBay want things for really dirt cheap. And so I stopped doing that. I sold over 200 paintings on there. So it was quite good, it was quite fun. But at the time I wasn't working, so I just wanted a little bit of income. So that's why I went down that route of painting and selling on eBay, just for a little bit of extra cash. Because I wasn't working at the time. I was looking after my son full time while my wife worked. So she's always been the main breadwinner. Things are different in our family. I was the stay-at-home dad, and it served its purpose. I did enjoy it, but it don't really pay. So it was nice to have some kind of side hustle, just make a little bit of money. But to be honest, it really wasn't worth what people wanted to buy the paintings for. Obviously, people go on eBay for cheap bargains, and I just didn't want to sell my paintings for that cheap anymore. So but it served its purpose. It was nice to get my art around there. And it's nice to think, you know, that a lot of people around the country have my paintings, my signature in their home. You know, a lot of nice messages, a lot of good feedback saying that they've got their painting up on the fireplace and it's pride of place. Because I like to paint local scenes, things like that. So a lot of people were asking for different sort of paintings, different areas where they're from, and it was nice. So what are you saying? I have to go for a bit. I will be back, promise. I love this painting. Okay, peachy. Well, what I will do, I will keep this video on my channel, so you can catch it at another time. You can watch it once it goes. Once I've finished this live, I will keep it on my channels for you. So thanks for joining anyway. I do appreciate your time. Thanks for giving us a like. I really do appreciate it. It is going to help more people. What else are you saying? Okay. Okay, I'm going to switch my brush now. I'm going to go for the liner brush. You can see a nice tip on it. I'm going to go in a little bit of that Van Dyke brown and yellow ochre. So I've got a little bit of a darker tone now. I wish I could show you my palette as I'm mixing these paintings, but just the setup doesn't allow. Maybe one day I'll get a better setup, more of a professional type, but for now I just have to make do with what I've got. I've got the camera on my ring light, so that's how I need to do this at the moment. So just pulling up some more trees in the distance of this painting. So this I really like doing, and trees is always something that I need to practice doing. But I think this is the easiest way of painting trees when you're using the rigger, just to pull up. It's just basically painting lines, so it's nice and quite easy. And depends, obviously, if you're adding foliage to your trees, that does make a difference. But I think a lot of these trees they have no foliage. It was probably, I can't remember when I took the picture. It might have been winter time. Thanks for joining. Please do hit that like. Just helps me, helps my channel to grow. So I do appreciate that. If you just tap the like, even share, comment. I really do love reading your comments as well. It's actually getting a bit warmer here now in the UK, which is really nice. I can spend a bit more time, and I do plan on doing some plein air painting as well. I think that would be really, really nice. I spoke about it in my last video. I used to belong to a meetup group. It was Manchester Sketchbookers. And so that was really nice because it just gave me an excuse to paint every single week using my sketchbooks. I filled quite a few sketchbooks actually while I was a member of that. Obviously staying at home, looking after my son, wanted things to do as well for myself. That's one of the things. It was every Saturday we'd meet up different places, and yeah, just really nice to meet like-minded people as well. It's just really nice the way a lot of people interpret things, a lot of different styles. So yeah, I mean, you could paint the same subject. You could have two artists painting the same subject and get completely different results. So not everyone's the same. So I'm going to add a little bit of dark. I've added some neutral tint. That's one of the paints I squeezed out as well. So just a bit of neutral tint. And you can see, because that that paint isn't dry, you're getting this sort of bleeding effect. I'm not really fussed because it's a woodland scene. I can cover that, or it could be just some sort of growth on the tree. I will add some more thickness to this tree, so I'm not going to let that bother me. It's obviously different when I'm painting not live. I do have plenty of breaks, and that's one thing you can do. It does help. Once you sort of have a 5-10 minute break, you can come back and obviously see a lot of these things that need improvement, or you might get ideas how the painting's going, where you're going to go with it. So I do recommend having plenty of breaks. You could have your favourite drink, that sort of thing, and then it just gives you fresh eyes as well. So it's you can see things that you wouldn't see normally. There's that saying in there that you can't see the wood for the trees. No pun intended. But yeah, this definitely is going to improve by just adding more to this, more details, more trees, more details. I will be going into this area as well, adding more to the rocks, making them a little bit more detailed, a bit more realistic maybe, but we'll see. That's the plan anyway. So I'll just add a few of these. So, I mean, even now, just by adding just a few of these trees and these branches, and it just looks a little bit more fuller in the areas. So it's making a good use of this. It was a bit blank, the area, so I could definitely see lots of things that I could do to this scene. Now, I want to plant these trees so they're not just sort of floating. So you can add some darks just to give them a bit of solid looking foundation. And just a bit, okay, a bit more water. So where's everyone from? Drop me a comment, let me know where you're from. I'm back. Oh, welcome back, Peachy. Hopefully you've got a nice drink and you can just sit back and enjoy this process. And if you are subscribed to my channel, I know a lot of people don't sort of hit the notification bell. If you are subscribed and you're not being notified of when I do upload, then please do check that. Hit the notification bell and you will receive each time I do upload something new. Now, one of the things that's quite nice in your painting is if you make the corners quite dark. It's nice because it just gives a little frame to the painting and it draws your eye into the sort of center of the painting. It's just really nice to do. So I'm just adding some bits of detail, twigs, things like that. These could be coming off this big trunk going through the scene. There is a really big waterfall in this area. I think last time I went I couldn't find it because it's quite a big woodland. There's quite a few little trails sort of going here, there and everywhere. So I couldn't find where this waterfall was, but I've been there before and it's really, really nice. So it's it really is big. It's quite makes you feel insignificant, you know, when you're in nature and you get these massive waterfalls. Quite loud as well, but yeah, I'm gonna, right, well, I'm going to switch back to the mop brush. I do want to add some dark to this tree. So a little bit of the sepia, a bit of the Van Dyke brown. I want this tree to really pop. So I'm going to go in. Like I said, I am going to be jumping around, sort of going here and there with the detail. So that's okay. Now I do have some tissue. Whereabouts are you from, Peachy? Let me know where you're from. Are you from the UK? Or I just find this, I just love YouTube. You know, there's people who join, and you can watch from different countries. I just find it fascinating, you know, the technology these days. It's just crazy, you know, how I've got a friend from, well, I've got friends from all over here on YouTube, and it's just a really nice way that we can connect. It's just fascinating for me. I'm a bit older, so technology these days is a bit mind blowing. Okay, I think I can add maybe little twigs and like a bit of branches coming from this tree as well. It's going to be quite nice. And you can see straight away, just adding that darker tone, it just really gives a little pop and helps. It just helps the foreground from the background, pushes things further in the distance and bring things forward. You know, the foreground, there is a difference now, more of a difference than there was before. I'm just going to add these, I think they're like notches in the tree. Just going to pop those in. It's still a bit wet, but I'm not going to let that bother me. A bit of texture on this tree, a bit of shape. You know, they're not going to be perfectly straight or perfectly perfect lines. So I want all these sort of details to pop. That looks miles better. What do you think? So what you're saying, okay. Yes, I will be leaving this video on my channel. There's people who are not here that usually join. I will be leaving it there for you. You can catch it in your own time. Add a bit of water to that. It's a bit dark. I don't want it too dark, but I do want a bit more depth in this painting. And obviously when you add the darks, the lights do pop. So if I leave some of this that's already been painted, you can see it's just giving that really nice light as well. So I don't want to go too dark. Let me just blot a bit of that out. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to switch my brush again to something a little bit smaller. And this is a Da Vinci Cosmotop, if you can see, size 2. I know different brands, the sizes, it's quite irrelevant. Number 2. Number 2 in this brush could be different to a different brush, could be a different size. I don't know why they do that. They should be all uniform in size, really. Because if I say to you that this is a number 2 Cosmotop, you might want to get a number 2 different brush, and it's not going to be the same. So I don't quite get that, but there we go. Who's here? So just add a little bit of these darker tones. I think that's looking quite good. Just texture really, what I'm after in this area. Bit of texture. You can see already, I mean the tree, it just really does pop, and it's just really setting the tone for the painting. I'm just going to carry on with this sort of area. Maybe a little bit more water, so I want a little bit lighter, I suppose, in this area. I don't want to detract from the tree, so I'm going to use water just to dilute that a little bit. Okay, that's quite nice, I think. Hello. Hi, Peachy. Are you working today, or do you have a day off? I really do appreciate you being here. So just little bits of details now. Bit of dry, let the paint run out, and then you get this texture from the paper. This is actually cold press, £140 cold press. Can't remember the brand of it, but it's quite a nice paper. I do buy a lot of Bockingford, so maybe it's a Bockingford paper, which is a really nice paper to use. It's not 100% cotton. It's a wood pulp paper, but I really do like it. Out of the papers that I use, I really do like this one. I do gravitate to this paper because I know what it does. I've used it quite a lot, and so I know how it behaves, and it really is a nice paper to use. So I think I'm going to go in and add a little bit more. You can see this rock. Can you see that at the bottom? I'm going to just pull up some bit of dry brush as well. So that just gives it a little bit more detail, makes it look a bit more believable. Get a little bit of the texture on the rock after it. Now I do want to go quite dark underneath. Let's get some of this really dark tone. This shapes in the rock. That's looking quite good. I think I'm gonna start a little bit on this side as well. So giving it a little pop of tone. So with watercolor, it really does help. Once you get the darker tones in, it just, I love the stage of these darker tones, because I've already painted most of this painting. It's almost complete. The only thing left is these darker stages, which is one of my favorite stages of painting. It's really when things start looking alive, start looking just really good. Okay, so I want maybe a little bit of that detail behind these trees. So I'm just dabbing the brush. You can see there's not a lot of pigment on there now. There's not a lot of colour, but I just want to just tap that in. Maybe something going on here. I think maybe a little bit of water, just add a little bit of water to my brush. Just dilute a few of those tones and just bring them. Yep, there we go. Okay. So yeah, like I said, I'm just flitting around, just doing different areas. I want a little bit more in the river. I want a bit more depth as well. A bit more, it's going to be difficult to... Yeah, I just want darker tones in the river as well, just help that pop. And these highlights, the white that I've left, the white of the paper, I want that to pop a little bit. Now I can add a little bit to these rocks that are coming through the water. So if I just do a little bit, and it just, can you see what's happening there now? It really does help. It helps with the composition. Right, and wash my brush out, squeeze it a little bit, get the excess water out, and I want to blend a little bit, not too much, but there we go. So some of these rocks are probably still underneath the water, so you can see a little bit of a tone. And then the darker bits are the bits of rock that are just coming through the water. So that's quite nice. I want these quite dark. So the dark really is going to help the lighter areas really pop. I'm going to grab my liner brush again because I want to add some more of these branches to this tree. It's quite a big tree, so I want to add quite a bit to it. Maybe a branch coming from the middle. You can see that. Really dark now. And also with trees, when you do these sort of branches, you can point, you can make the trees point at details. If you've got a focal point, you could use the branches to point inwards to the focal point, which is quite a nice little trick to do. Okay, just want some things going on here. I like this. There's nothing really, I'm not really painting anything in particular, just adding little details. You know, a scene like this there's quite a lot going on. If you look at a reference photo of something like this, there's just so much detail. So you don't really necessarily have to paint every bit of detail. So I'm just going in and just adding tone and not really anything in mind, but it does have a nice effect as well. And let me get some of that, get some darker tone on that. I think I might have a little touch of hay fever. I think I've had it once before. I know some people really suffer, but I think I've had it once before, and I seem to have that sort of blocked up nose, but a bit sniffly. So I do know how you feel if you do suffer with hay fever. The pollen level's quite moderate today. It's getting a bit sunnier here, so all these things are going to start happening anyway. I'm going to spend some time enjoying the garden. I need to do the lawn, I need to do a bit gardening, but yeah. So I'm just going to add, you can hear me sniffling a little bit. Okay, a little bit of that Van Dyke brown here. I really do like painting these scenes, these nature scenes, nature landscapes. They really are really nice to do. So I can add a few more little... You really couldn't paint all the trees and branches in this sort of painting. You just go in and add as many as you until you get bored, I think. But yeah, quite enjoyable to do, especially if you've got new brushes, new materials you want to try out. It's quite nice for that. Painting the trees. Maybe you've got a new liner brush you need to check out for the first time. Just take a little bit of that out. There we go. Really, the thing that I want to do is in the background have a little bit more lighter branches, lighter trees, and then as you come down the scene to the foreground, that's where the darks sort of come in. So that's the normal sort of thing to do, and it is just the way things look. It gives dimension to your painting. Just gives it a nice background, foreground, midground, that sort of thing. So you can save even the details, you can save to just the foreground. So let me add some darker bits. Darker tones. I want this bit to be quite dark indeed. Just allowing just a few of those little lighter areas to remain. Gives it a little bit, rather than just have a flat, because that's what it'd look like. It'd look quite flat if you just deaden the area, if you just went in all dark without leaving any little bits of highlight. It just makes it a bit flat. So bearing that in mind, I'm just going in some of these areas, and just tapping in a bit of that tone. There we go. Okay. Now, just add in a little bit more to the water. And you can see as my paintbrush runs out of paint, you get this texture from the paper. So that's quite nice, especially with water. It's quite nice. So I want some darker tones, usually on the tip, I guess where the waterfall starts coming down, the angle from the flat to the sort of bend, you get this quite a dark tone. I want to include that. Okay. And normally what happens is you got this little bit of dark tone coming down. So there we go. In fact, I think I'm going to fill this area. Oh, I can see something on my brush. And that's one of the things I mentioned as well in my last video. If you're going to use a tray with your paints, then it would be beneficial definitely to cover. If you can get a tray, a butcher's tray with a lid, then that's ideal. Especially if we've got two cats, and so I just get hers and all sorts landing in my tray, and that comes out in the paints. So yeah, so this is the butcher's tray I'm using, and there is plenty of cat hairs in there. I don't know if you can see any of them. It's quite annoying sometimes. I mean, I think I may have to spend a little bit of time one evening when I'm not painting just to tweezer some of those cat hairs out, because they don't really do any good. They don't help. And I think there's I usually keep this tray in the conservatory, so there's probably bits of dust and dirt in my paint as well, so it's probably not ideal. It does need to be covered, I think, and that would probably solve that issue. So if there is, I don't know whether there probably is, some trays with lids. I would like to invest maybe some time in one of those, but definitely if you could cover it yourself. I think I may have to, once I take the hairs out, maybe I could put some cling film on there just to stop these nuisances. Okay, so I should have really started with the water up here, perhaps, and then started coming down, but never mind, because I don't want to touch the already wet paint where I've been. But here goes. Yep, just a bit of water. Let's blend that. Now I do want to maybe make this a little bit more readable. So I do want a bit more of a banking that makes sense. Let's, are you still here? Peachy. So let's, we've got a bit of bleed in there, but that's absolutely fine. Let me just blend that a little bit. There we go. So that just gives a little bit more of shape to the river. And I can go in the other side as well and just add some darker tones there. So let me, a bit more water I want. Not completely white, but a little bit of tone in there. There we go. Maybe leave the top area so there's a bit more light there. And just going to pull down a little bit. Giving this water as it's coming down just a little bit more texture, make it a bit more realistic. I want plenty of movement, and if you're painting water or waterfalls, anything like that, you do want plenty of movement in there. Plenty of highlights, plenty of darks, just to give it a little bit of movement, and so you can tell that it is water, and it is water you're trying to represent. So there we go. Yep, I think could even be details in the water, like rocks and things like that, little stones, pebbles and whatnot. So let me grab a liner brush again. Now I want maybe some sap green and Van Dyke brown, just for some more details. in the background. Bit of Van Dyke brown on its own. See, I don't just use this liner brush for branches and twigs and sticks and grasses. I do like to use it because it's there's a lot of movement on it, so it does help keep things a little bit loose as well, so you can't. It's like when it comes to adding birds to the scene, if you want to add birds, that's normally something I do the final bit, the last sort of touch. I always use a pen, an ink pen, because doing it with this, it'd probably turn out like a pterodactyl. So I like to be a bit more precise when it comes to little details like a bird. So I will use my pen for that. Let me grab a little bit more sepia. I want this gentle little tree on the bank with a bit more detail. Maybe some up here. I know I need to plant this one as well. Just adding detail, just letting the brush dance on the paper, really. The good thing about this painting or this sort of scene is you can get away with a lot. You can just sort of add the paint, and it don't really need to be anything in particular. You can just go ahead and just sort of do that, and it does add something to the painting. You can see it does give it a bit more life, so it can be quite forgiving, this sort of scene. There's so much going on, so many textures, so many twigs. You can just go in and just spend an hour or two just pulling up some little lines, and it works. So it's a really, really nice subject to do, a little woodland scene or anything like that. Let's see. So I'm going to add a little few little trees in here. I think I'm going to add some detail to this rock. Maybe I'm going to pop some yellow ochre on there as well. This is actually yellow ochre originally, so I'm just adding to that, and a bit of sap green into that yellow ochre. I like those colours combined because it gives a nice sort of warm green as well. So it's perfect sort of summer colour when you start getting the trees, the foliage coming through. It's just a really nice colour. So there we go. Just scuffing, and just don't really matter, really. Add a little bit of yellow ochre, and it's also opaque, quite opaque yellow ochre, so you can add it on top of some of the colours that you may have already down, so it's quite nice as well for that. So you can add it over your darks, you can do that, you can get away with that. I'm going to try some of this yellow, Indian yellow. I don't think I've used that in this scene, so let me just try a little bit. A bit of Indian yellow. It's quite similar. It's just a bit lighter than the yellow ochre, a bit more yellowy, where the yellow ochre would be a little bit more towards brown. Oh, you can see it's quite a nice, vibrant colour. Maybe too much. Let me add some yellow ochre to that. I think it just looks a bit, if it wasn't this scene, you'd probably get away with it. But yeah, just bring it down a little bit. So it's a bit too vibrant, a bit too, in fact I need to cover that a bit more. I'm getting some sap green here. There we go. Okay, that's good. I want to add a little bit more to this rock. Yellow ochre. A bit more yellow ochre in this area. Now I think this scene you could quite easily overwork. I may be in danger of doing that for a change, but yeah, I've just got to be careful with this one. I think I'm just gonna, this is awkward angle, but see, that's quite dark. Let me dampen that out a bit. Yep. So just add in a little bit more tone. So this river is quite a bumpy sort of river. You've got different levels, and as it comes down, you got the water just cascading a little bit like mini waterfalls coming down. So I do want to just darken a few of those little areas, and can add a few rocks and things happening on the banking, which I think is quite nice. Does that read well? A few little details on this bit of banking here. You can see how that really does help make that pop. The lights on this area is quite nice. It does play a role. And just a little bit more dark underneath this rock. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of water, quite a lot, and just blend. Let the colours, don't be scared of the watercolour, don't fight it, just let the water take control a little bit. And then you can always manipulate things as well, so don't worry too much. A bit darker areas coming up the riverbank, and you can always use your finger as well if things are a little bit too dark. Just use your finger just to take some of the tone out, like this bit here. Just want a little bit more depth. There we go. And I can see little parts that need a little contrast. You can paint around these little lighter areas with a little tone. Just gives it more light and more life to the painting, which is what we want. It really is a joy to paint water in watercolours. It really is quite a nice thing to do. So I really enjoy doing that. So my intention, if you are new here, my intention is to keep going live every Tuesday morning here UK time. So if you don't want to miss out, then subscribe and hit the notification bell. And I do a few videos during the week as well, as many as I can really. But I just want to, like I said, build up my community, you know, just building, finding like-minded people. Maybe you paint and you're looking for some sort of help with your paintings, then you feel free to join my community. Really would love to have you here. So there's all sorts of things going on in this scene, just a few twigs, sticks, things like that. Okay, I think I'll have a little bit of a tree growing over here. I really like using these rigger brushes for trees. It really is nice. I think I'll have quite a bit going on here. And it looks nice against the white as well. When you pop a tree in and there's white behind it, it does give a nice contrast. And that's what it's all about. You've got to find nice contrasts in your compositions. Patterns, shapes, things like that. It's often quite nice to look at. So that's what you want to do. Bit of a Van Dyke brown. Tree. Just a few things really, and it makes a real big difference in this painting. I've not really done much, but it really has revived this and brought it a bit more to life. I hope you agree. Let me know what you think. But just add a little bit more dark here. There's a few areas like this where I live, and I do like to take walks, and it's going to be nice to get plenty of subjects and things to paint as I explore these areas. We're quite lucky to live in an area with a few country parks. If there's any country parks where you live, just take time out, just go and explore and just spend time in nature. It's always good. It's good for you, especially if you have mental sort of, if you have issues mentally, then just getting out can really do a lot for you. And it's something you already know anyway. It's not something new. It is recommended that you spend time in the great outdoors. It really is beneficial. Maybe I can add another tree here. Let me give that a little bit more. Just rough things up a bit, because it's nothing's in nature, nothing's perfectly straight or anything like that. So you can just go in and just even just rough your brush up like that. I think I see a little bit more I can do. Some dark. Just separating this rock from the one below. you can really spend as much time as you want on painting. You can spend as little or as much time as you want. I do usually like painting loose in style, but sometimes every now and then it is nice to do more of a detailed painting, maybe from a reference. It is quite nice to do. Let me just have a little sip of my drink. So yeah, it depends what you want, but I know I do like to paint a lot looser as well. It just gives a bit more life. Sometimes I see some of these paintings and they're really good. They really are quite talented as artists, but sometimes when I see how perfect it is, I don't know, sometimes I do like just the looseness of a painting. So let me know what you think. If you do like the looser, if you do like the looser style of painting, or do you like things to be realistic? It would be interesting to hear your feedback. But I think there's a time and a place for realistic paintings, but it is nice to go in and do just loose as well. It's a lot more forgiving if you do a looser painting. When you start adding details and going for the realistic look, it's less forgiving, so you sort of you just need things to be perfect, and sometimes it can take away from the enjoyment of the process. But again, let me know what you think. I'd be interested to know what your take on it is. If you paint loose or if you paint in a more realistic style, let me know. But I think I'm quite happy with this painting. I'm probably happy leaving it at this point. You can see, I can see something that I need to add. Let's add some dark to this, and it helps with the water as well. I could just really go on all day, just knowing when to stop. A bit more dark here. I have some branches coming in to the scene from the side as well. The branches grow everywhere, so it's yep, maybe I'm gonna add a big branch coming down. And when you tape your painting, if you do that, just paint from, it's good to paint from the tape itself onwards, so it doesn't look like it's just stopped. It's a continuation of a branch or something like that, and it's going off the scene. So that's what I like to do as well. Maybe another one just coming in here, so it looks like there's other trees in this area and just overlapping things, and there we go. Yeah, I think I'm going to call that one a day. I'm going to call it done. Hopefully you like this one. Like I said, I am going to leave it on my channel, so if you didn't get a chance to watch me live, then you can go on my channel and find this. I do like this stage as well, just taking the tape off so you can see the completed painting. Just looks more done. That's it. Hope you like this one. I think I've got a better camera angle as well for this live, getting used to it. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you like this one. Give us a like. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. For weekly content, hit your notification bell and you will be notified each time I do upload. But that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.